everyone. My name is Nusrat Jahan Nishu, working in GRK International Educational Consultant. Right now, with me, we have Mr. Abhijit Puri, sir, who is the CEO and founder of GRK, and we have a special guest with us today. She is Miss Jenny. She is the representing the University of Böras. She will guide us through how admission process, every details you need to know to get the admission and application to University of Böras. So, Miss Jenny, before that, can you please, tell something to our students?
Hello, hi, welcome, and thank you for allowing me to come here and talk to you. I'm Jenny Balkov. I'm a researcher and PhD in textile management, but I'm also international strategic advisor for the Swedish School of Experts at University of Böras. So I am here to talk to you about our programs and to show you a little bit about our city here in Böras.
Okay, thank you so much. And Miss Jenny, you're going to show us a presentation.
Yes. So let's see if it goes on here. Thank you so much. So University of Borås, and what you see here on the picture, it looks like summer. Doesn't look like that right now because we have a little bit of rainy weather, and a couple of weeks ago it was white. But University of Borås is a very small university. We are a highly specialized university where sustainability is the core of all our programs, the research, and everything that we offer for our international program students is concerned with sustainability. So the lead vision here is together we take responsibility for the future. Sweden, you all know where Sweden is by now, I guess, because you have already been talking to JRK. But where could Borås be? Well, Borås is here in the southern part of Sweden, very close to Gothenburg. I usually say that when you land on Landvetter, which is the second largest airport in Sweden, when you land, you could either go to the right, either go to the left and go to Gothenburg, or you can go to the right way. I mean, to the right and go to Borås. So it's very, very close to Gothenburg. A lot of people commute between Gothenburg and Borås. Amongst others, if you take the early bus, you could actually meet up with a vice chancellor who is on that bus. So very, very close to Gothenburg and in the southern part here of Sweden. Because Borås is a very, very small city. Actually, it was just built in the 17th century just to be able to be a center for textile trade. But here, as you can see, the campus consists of 3 buildings. To the right, you see the Textile Fashion Center, which is the one that I'm sitting in right now. And it's Sandagärdet, which contains a beautiful library with a lot of books, and a lot of places to sit and study. And then it's Balder, which is the main building. And then you can see the city centra. And I believe that the train station is somewhere between the city centra and Textile Fashion Center. So 5 minutes walk to the train station and you are on your way to Landvetter or Gothenburg or wherever you are going. This is some other pictures of our campus. You can see the library building up to the far up to the left corner of the left, and the dots are from the library building. The University of Borås, if you look at our core motto, it's interdisciplinary. We have all of our programs focus on a rather very small niche education, but with a very broad platform. So all of our program had a rather broad acceptance and admissions, but then very highly specialized in terms of specialization. We have 6 areas of research: fashion and textiles, resource recovery, library and information science, business and IT, educational work, and the human perspective in care. Now, fashion and textile studies and resource recovery is almost half of the students, half of the employees, and half of the university, actually. We have approximately 6,500 full-time students, so very few. It's a small university. And we have 840 graduate students, some 60 PhD students, and 34 professors, 800 employees. And but a large amount of our employees who are teaching do have a PhD in their respective areas. 56% have a PhD when they are teaching. And on master's levels, it is almost 100%. One of the things that we are known for are our beautiful laboratories. This is not just here in the building, where we have a knitting laboratory. We have that is equipped from everything from the most simplest of hand weaving machine to the biggest and most advanced jacquard machines. And then we have the knitting laboratory, the coating and coloring, the sewing. We have for testing yarns, testing for chemical research, we have electronic research. So a lot of the space that we have here are these big and spacious laboratories. And for one of the special things that are quite unique to our university is that for bachelor level programs, all our bachelor level programs, regardless if they are in management, design, or engineering, everybody has to have courses in these laboratories so that they understand the basics of fabrics, the basics of chemistry, and so on. Now, Böras, as a student city, it is, well, compared to the large cities that we have in the world, this is a very quiet and small city. But that also opens up for opportunities. I mean, if you want, you get together with other students from all over the world. I will show you on a slide later that we have absolutely students from basically all over the world in different areas. At the same time, if you want a little bit of a nightlife, the bus to Gothenburg goes every day, every hour. We have excellent student support for our students. International office helps you with housing and everything that you need to know about being a student here. Admissions office that help you with scholarships, tuition fees, admission process, study and career counseling for what to do afterwards. And program coordinators are always available to answer questions about the contents of the program. And if you have other questions, you could always contact study@hb.se. Now, I said that the two areas which I represent are resource recovery and textile, the Swedish School of Textiles, textile and fashion. So if we start with resource recovery, what happens to the food that is left over after you have finished eating? What happens to that food? You scrap it off, you put it sometimes in a special container. But what could be done with that? So much food is going to waste every day. So what happens to that? Well, within the resource recovery program, they have excellent research concerning how to recover resources, amongst other food waste. So when I was traveling around in India and Sri Lanka just 2 weeks ago, I brought with me a little bit of, it felt like leather, actually made of food waste. And I have a little bit of thread here. You can't see that, but it's a very small piece of thread. And it's also done out of food waste. So what more can be done out of food waste? And how can we save electricity? And how can we make this world save the resources that we have? And not just use more. And for all of you who are interested in these questions, we have 5 different engineering programs that are focusing on this in different ways. So coming from let me see here, well, it's the first one. Sorry, I need my glasses actually. Now I see. So the biotechnology and bioeconomy programs. In this program, you are focusing more on the food waste and those biochemical processes but also on the infrastructure, on how to get the food waste to the place where you can actually handle it. Then you have polymer materials, where you're looking more into plastic. What happens to those plastic bottles that you throw away after drinking the water or sodas? What can it become? Clothes? Yes, it can. And can it become something else? And in polymer materials and circular economy, they focus more on the plastics. And then we have sustainable energy processes, looking at energy processes, of course. How can we create and sustain energies? And then there are two new programs. They started, it's the first time they had admission this fall semester in 2024. And it's the Sustainable Civil Engineering and AI-enhanced supply chain management. All of these 5 are 2-year programs for engineering students. So prerequisites. Now, this might seem to be a lot of information here. And all of this information is also available on our webpage. But as you can see, a Bachelor of Science in Engineering is required. But in the case of the first 3 program, it's quite a large array of different programs that could be eligible for. But for the polymer material, it's also added polymer technologies and material engineering. But all of these to the left here are prerequisites for the first 3 programs. The 2 new programs, they have a little bit of extra requirements. So for the sustainable civil engineering program, you have to have 60 ACTS extra in some of these topics that you see here. And also AI-enhanced supply chain management has special requirements. So please look into that if you are choosing. So what are the career development plans? What are our students working with after they fulfill this? To be fair, because these programs are very small classrooms, if you apply for an engineering program in, let's say, one of the big universities, you will end up in a classroom with approximately 50 students. In our classroom, you are 1 out of 15 students. And that means that a lot of our students work so close in contact with their professors that they prefer, after fulfilling the program, to continue in research and development. Thus, to be fair, a fairly large amount of our students end up working with research and development, either as a PhD student in one of the larger universities, or in a research institute, or in an energy company, or recycling companies, or consultancy companies, public administration, NGOs, and so on. But to be fair, a lot of them end up with research and development. But there are, of course, other trajectories or other career opportunities that could open up as well. Now, that was all about the resource recovery program, but we also have a brand name of the Swedish School of Textiles, which concerns textile and fashion. Now, the Swedish School of Textiles has existed here in Borås since 1866, when we actually produced clothes here in Borås. Borås was the center for textile production in Sweden because in the early 19th century, Sweden was one of the poorest countries in Europe. But during the 19th century, largely because of the textile industry, we also moved from being one of the poorest to one of the richest countries in Europe. And so the Swedish School of Textile was founded in 1866. And it gives the students the opportunity to combine creativity, practice, and theory. And like I showed you before, we have laboratories that are quite unique. Most European and American universities, they no longer have these large laboratories that we offer here. And in that picture is a 3D knitted. So when it comes out, of the jacquard machine, it is this thin. It looks like this. And when you apply heat to the upper and the lower, it shrinks.
That's very fascinating. That's
and
very much
becomes
fascinating.
this. So this is one of the things, and it's quite stable. See, I push it together, you see?
Yes.
I'm not very, very strong, but so this material is is a type of this is one of our researchers who are working with applications for this. I mean, there are other very fascinating things that could be talking about sustainability in textiles and fashion, of course. We could talk about new materials. Oops, sorry. Like this. Do you see? You can't touch it and feel it, but when I went to India, everybody has been touching it. It's been through 5 countries now. This is actually paper, knitted paper, and you can see I can stretch it without it
It's
breaking.
not cloth. I thought it was like a cloth material.
Yes, it is. It is already in production because you can use it when you put wooden floor on. It's in Sweden. It's very popular to put wooden floor in apartments and in your houses. And usually you would have some plastics between the hardwood floor and the concrete, but you can use this instead, which is made of pine trees, so it's very good for the environment. So,
That's great.
so you can't really touch or feel this, but I'll show you a little bit anyways. So when it comes to research and design, this school is actually quite renowned worldwide. You won't think that with a very small university in such a small, awkward northern part of the world, but actually we made quite a name for ourselves. And like I said, sustainability is the core of what we are focusing on. And because it is a complex challenge. And one of the things that I ask my students when they arrive here in September is, what do you feel is the most important challenge to address in terms of sustainability in textile and fashion? And they all have different ideas about, because overconsumption is one part. The way that new materials is one part, of course. How we produce the clothes is one thing. There's so many aspects to this, of course. And like we talked about interdisciplinary, here at the Swedish School of Textile, design, management, and engineering, we are in the same building. So next to me here, in my office next to me, is the professor in design. And on that side, I have a professor in engineering. So we work very, very close, and both in terms of research, collaborating within education, and so on. And what you see here are parts of different research projects. We have the little cap up to the right, for example. If you think about a prematurely born baby, a very, very tiny baby, and you have to put all these electrodes to check that check heartbeat and brain waves and so on. What about putting that little cap on instead? on the baby instead of all of these electrodes. And that is the idea about the cap that you see up to the right. And the yellow dress is made of recycled material, because it's really hard when you have blended materials to recycle it in garments. But the yellow dress there is made out of jeans. So at our webpage, you can see that we have this National Platform for Sustainable Fashion and Textiles, also showing this profile. We have a lot of research groups that are working, collaborating. So there are research groups, but when we are doing research projects, usually there are 2 or 3 of these research groups that are collaborating about one project, such as, for example, the current project about female managers in textile industry, which is a collaboration between all 3 departments. Looking at education, we usually divide into 3 categories, though. Textile technology, focusing on things like new materials that we talked about. Also have with me here this, and you can't see that, but it's actually iron. So we thinly knitted iron, and this is pine. And so a lot of the textile technologies is focusing on new materials, hemp. There is a big study about how to use hemp for producing fabric textiles today. And 3 programs, 1 bachelor program in textile production and innovation, and then 2 master's program, both of them 2-year programs, 1 in textile engineering, looking more into materials, and 1 is technical textile innovation, looking more into new innovative textiles that can be used for the technical side, like the little hat, for example. So textile production and innovation is quite a new program. It started 2 years ago, and it is about entrepreneurship and finding new production ways and new products in the textile industry that are more sustainable. They sustainable so many times. When it comes to the master's program, like I said, 1 is focusing more towards the material side, and 1 is focusing more towards the innovation side. And both of the programs are focusing on the people who work at these programs, also because it's so small groups, so they work very close to the professors. Both of these programs have a fair share of research and development as well, students who prefer to go ahead and work in research and development. But they also are trained to analyze global trends and driving innovation through managerial roles or entrepreneurship. And how to develop more sustainable circular solutions.
Jenny,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt you. Abhijit, can you hear Jenny properly? I think sometimes what happens is that her sound was breaking. Is it only mine from my end?
No, I think she's fine.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Okay, good. Let me know if it's too much breaking, because I also hear other sounds sometimes. But so apart from textile technology, we also have textile design. And in design, we have 2 bachelor's programs, 1 in fashion design and 1 in textile design. And then we have 1 master's program with 4 different specializations. So textile design are focusing more on textiles and its expression. And I will show you some, for example, it could be coloring, it could be coating, it could be focusing on how new materials are being developed. So there are a broad range of different aspects of textile design that you could work with. And the main the aim of this program is to have educated textile designer to be prepared to work with new types of design assignments. How can you design a product, for example, to be more sustainable? And today, for example, this is in production. Can you see what it is? It is actually a shoe. So instead of doing a weaved shoe where you would have to cut all of this out, which would mean that this part here that is cut away would be waste, right? You have designed a knitted shoe that is more sustainable because you don't have any waste when you cut it out, except for this little part here. So these are one of the things. How can we design products to become more sustainable from inception instead of just taking care of the waste, right?
Yes.
So now you see, I talked about the waste, I talked about new materials, and now we're talking about how to design for that, right? And fashion design is also working with both sustainability aspects, both ecological, social, and cultural demands and challenges. But they are also focusing on the fashion side. Textiles could be any textiles. It could be textiles that are for shoes. It could be textiles for Volvo, for a company. But fashion is more about what we wear and what that means in a context. And elaborating on that, how do you put on a pants if you are in a wheelchair, for example? Have you thought about that? We had one of our students designing a collection for somebody who's sitting in a wheelchair that would be easy to put on and take off. So here we have sort of a more broader expression. It's not just about learning how to draw the nice pictures you see in the magazine, but actually thinking on a broader level, how can we contribute in fashion design to a more sustainable industry? Now, the master's program, it's a master's in fine art, which means that it is an art master's. And that means that the whole program is designed around you and your project. So you can be a specialization in fashion design or textile design. We talked a little bit about that, but also in interaction design. And interaction design, what is that? That is, I don't have any avatar to show you now, but that could, for example, be a digital, in a digital world, creating fashion aspects that are non-physical, for example. That could be one part of it. And you have performance wear, master design for performance wear, which is more geared towards something that is highly popular here in the northern market, which is performance wear, and which is also about technical textiles, of course, sweat reducing and you know what, and keeping heat and so on. Now, our design students have a very good reputation. Here you see Belinda Gredic, who is the winner of the BIIF Fashion Design Award, and another of our alumni students winning the Louis Vuitton prize in 2024, which means that she is now supported by Louis Vuitton for her continuous projects. You also see Alice Jardestein, who was picked by Christina Aguilera when she showed her fashion on fashion show to do the whole collection of Christina Aguilera's show. So she made all the costumes for her tour, USA tour in 2018. And up on the top right, you see Daniel Bendowski. After he showed his graduation show, Lady Gaga asked him to come up to her hotel room and show the clothes, and she picked a couple of clothes and then came out of the hotel room with them on. So we have very, oh, sorry, I haven't clicked further here. Sorry, fashion design here. Sorry, now you see the correct pictures here. I'm sorry, I forgot to click. Here you see the BAAF Design Award winners and Ellen Hadakova, who won the Louis Vuitton prize. So there's this. The design students' graduation projects usually end up in London Fashion Show, where they are highly priced. Finally, these are the final programs. I promise you, I have a couple of pictures of students, but that's it. 3 more programs. So textile management, what do we do? Well, the thing is that the European Union just last year made a very revolutionary decision to the textile and fashion industry. The new CSR directive that is being implemented currently stipulates that it's a very strong directive that asks the companies to become much more transparent in what fibers they are using, how they are producing, and so on. Now, if you asked me 5 years ago what I think about a sustainability manager, I would say that most sustainability managers, they are writing up a report every year that looks good to the consumers. Today, and in the future, that will not be so easy, because the new directive actually demands that you have a very close contact with your suppliers on the other side of the world. But not only that, not only do you have to have sort of understand your suppliers and your sub-suppliers and your sub-suppliers, you also have to understand how do I make an engineer, a designer, and all these business people, all these sources, the supply chain manager, the marketing manager, talk to each other and talk about the same thing when we talk about sustainability. How do I make that happen? This is the challenge we are trying to address in this management program. And we do that by making sure that we have this very diverse classroom. So what you see here is the graduating class of 2023. And you can see that we have 10 engineering students, 9 business students, we have fashion students, and we have industrial engineering students, all in the same classroom. And then we have students from Bangladesh, from Finland, from Germany, Greece, India, Netherlands, Sri Lanka, Germany, US. And in my classroom today, I also have Ghana, Nigeria, Mexico, Colombia. It is really a representation both of the global production, but also of different disciplines within the classroom. And so with this very, very broad acceptance, with this starting out with so many different nationalities and so many in this multidisciplinary classroom. For the one-year master's program, we focus more on getting students to interact with each other around this topic of sustainability, sustainable business models, strategy, what is fibers, what is value chain, and a lot of focus is on those core parts of the textile and fashion. That means that when we are looking for a future career in these topics, usually the future career is based on what you have as a bachelor when you come in. So actually, the girl on the picture is called Vera, and she's from Germany, and she was one of my students, and she had a bachelor in design, and she's now working at the design department at Revolution Race, one of our biggest companies here in Böras, working with functional clothing. So the admission requirements are broad: social sciences, business administration, fashion studies, industrial engineering, management, very broad admission. Textile design and fashion design is only for the one-year program and the fashion program. And the engineering and technology is only for the one-year program and the value chain program. English 6, and then we have interviews and motivation letters as part of our admission requirements. The career opportunities, as I said, for the one-year program, you usually end up working with in the same line of business that you started with. If you're a designer, you become a designer, but with the added understanding of how to take on a managerial position so that you can be part of that CSR directive work that is now going on, so that you can actually have that inter-organizational communication. When it comes to the two-year program, that is more of a career changing, I would say. So you might come in as a designer, but be more interested in working with entrepreneurship, for example, starting your own business. So then you get plenty of time to start to develop your own business. But other than that, I would say that for the career, a lot of our alumni, apart from Vera, which you saw in the picture, we have students working with different types of consultancy roles in sustainability. So within NGOs, within large organizations, within as part of governmental organizations, as their own consultancy agency. We have the sourcing managers, people working in product development or business development towards more sustainable business models. We also have, especially for those who, because I'm the program manager for the fashion marketing and management program. So for my students, a lot of them are interested, of course, of working with creative in the creative business towards influencer, because that is also part of the sustainability work. Influence people to buy more sustainable, buy less. So there is plenty of opportunities to sort of think about and build that career. I'll stop talking now. I'll just show you a couple of pictures of our students, because what happens the first day when our master students arrive here is that all the students in textiles technology, textile design, and textile management, those who are starting their second year, they make dinner for the first year students. And this the roof of this building that I'm in. So they are sitting on the roof, eating dinner, a potluck that has been created by the second year students for the first year students, together the design technology. So we try to find activities that integrates design students with textile technology and management students. This is here in the background, you see my colleague Vijay Kumar, who is teaching the students about value chain. A lot of the teaching is done in this is actually a workshop. So the students here on the front row and the one who's sitting here, they are representing one company. So they have different roles in one company, and then they are trying to make the company work and the supply chain to function. We work with these students are my students right now as well. They are building a bridge, working with intercultural communication. These students are second year students. They have been awarded a diploma for best pitch and best campaign that they had developed for a company within a course. So that was basically it about the programs. When it comes to the application processes, I don't know if that is something that you usually talk about, or do you want me to talk a little bit about that as well?
Jenny, I think application things. I mean, students knows. I mean, we always help the students to how to do these things. So actually,
Yes.
you don't need to explain it. But I mean, of course, like when we are talking about the applications, I mean, even on behalf of the EU, like I would like to let the students know, like guys, 15th January is the deadline to make the applications for
Good.
September 2025 intake. So if you haven't done your application yet, please do it ASAP, because later it will be considered as late applications.
Yes.
And
And above all, for the management program, you need to hand in your application before 15th of January, because we close application, because 1st of February, we need to have your vision statement.
yes,
But for the design program, the application process is between 15th of February to mid-March. So that is also something to think about.
exactly.
Did you have any questions for me? I can
I
see
think
here.
like yeah.
Yes,
Uh,
we have a few questions in the chat box. In the comments, we have some questions. I'm going to read that out. There are students who are saying hello to you, Jenny.
Hi. Yes. Should I
Okay.
read them out, or do you read them, Nisha?
No, I will read them. You just answer them accordingly. So Farhad Hussain is asking, is there any opportunity to pursue a master's in biotechnology for someone who has already completed a bachelor's degree in agriculture? Is it possible?
In agriculture. Now, it is a little bit difficult always to say yes or no to these questions, because in the degree looks very different in different parts of the world. So I don't really know how your degree is constructed. And that's why it's very important to look at how the application, how they describe the background, because in some cases there could be a bachelor degree in agriculture and that's it, and then it might be problematic. But in some cases it is a bachelor's degree in biotechnology with focus on agriculture, and then it's just fine. So read through the all of the, so it has to be a Bachelor of Science in Engineering, Physics or Chemistry, with either but with some sort of specialization. But it's really tough to sort of know, because in the end what happens is that they will make a first assessment. This is always done virtually by all the assessors in the whole of Sweden. And then after a while, it ends up with the local admissions office. And what the local admissions office do is that they sort of, if there's any question, is it or is it not, they will ask us as program managers. So we will get a question, is this considered? And then we will go in and have a look at everything that you've studied and make a separate evaluation. So
Yes, I can understand. I think in this case, JRK can definitely help you. You just need to send us your documents, the students. You can have your queries to send it to us, and then
good,
we'll do it from your student end. Then you can
good,
make the applications. Yes, JRK
good.
will come in handy in these regards.
Good. That's why we have help here.
yes.
So,
Exactly. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Bora is asking, what's the average tuition fee for the programs? Are there any scholarships specifically available for Bangladeshi students?
and the scholarships, when it comes to tuition fees for the resource recovery programs, there are somewhere around 67,000 to 68,000 Swedish crowns. The management programs a little bit cheaper, so they are around 52,000. and then when it comes to the design programs, they are the really expensive one. They are around 140,000 per semester. So from 52,000 per semester for the management programs, 68,000 for the engineering programs, textile engineering and resource recovery, and then 140,000 for the per semester for the design programs. When it comes to scholarships, for the engineering and management programs, we have scholarships, but they are not scholarships, they're tuition fee waivers, which means that we cover parts, 75%, I think it is, of the tuition fee. And it's really hard for me to say, but as you could tell by my slides, I'm just going to go back, because when it comes to the engineering programs, both the textile engineering programs, you see pioneering women in STEM scholarships, because some of our students would get a Swedish Institute scholarships. And this year there's a new scholarship called STEM Scholarship for Women, which means that women can apply for this scholarship. And I'm pretty sure Bangladesh is on the list there for these STEM scholarships, which means that both our textile technology and resource recovery programs have been certified for women to apply for the STEM scholarships, Swedish Institute STEM scholarship.
That's great news. Also,
Yes.
the women in this sector can definitely have their dream come true, and they can study their dream programs.
We are so proud to be able to say that all our 7 technology programs are part of this, but that concerns only the STEM is only for the technology, and it's a new scholarship. So let's see how it works.
Let's see. Okay. So I will move on to the next question. Isha is asking, are all the classes conducted in English, or is knowledge of Sweden is required?
Well, for the teaching in this programs, English is the only language required. I would say that some of the teachers here don't speak Swedish so well. So Swedish is a problem in some of the courses, but English is never a problem in the courses. English is quite easy to move around in Sweden in general, speaking English. However, if you're looking for a career in Sweden, you should learn some Swedish, and we do offer courses in Swedish here at the university as well. So I always send out information about these courses at the beginning of the semester, and I strongly advise that you take some basic courses in Swedish for your future career in Sweden. But for moving around, for studying in Sweden, English is all you need.
Oh, that's great. So, there is no such thing as language barrier. Like, I can't take a cup of coffee. I can order a cup of coffee without knowing Swedish.
Definitely.
Okay. Another question from Insia is that, okay, sorry, Bora has asked another question. Do you accept other English proficiency tests such as TOEFL or Duolingo?
We do accept TOEFL, definitely. We do not accept Duolingo. Yes, all the tests that we accept are readily available, and I know JRK will support you
Definitely, yes.
in this. But we accept all the tests that are available on admissions.sc. All of those we are qualifying.
Oh, yes, we can definitely, for your university or the Sweden universities, we need IELTS 6.5, overall score 6.5. PT is also accepted, TOEFL is also accepted. We can definitely do the assessment for you regarding the academics or English requirements. We can do that assessment for you. You just need to contact us in our messenger, or you can contact us with our phone number given in the below. You can definitely do that, and we will definitely help you. Okay, another student has asked, what are the most popular programs at the University of Böras among international students?
My program. My program is by far the most popular program at university among international students. So it's the fashion marketing and management in combination with textile value chain management, I would say, because you study together the first year. But we have more applicants. We always fill the program, and we have so fashion marketing and management program is by far the most popular. But no, sorry, no, it is design programs are more popular. I forgot about the design programs. The design programs are most popular, but they have an equal amount of Swedish and international applicants. They are in a separate round of applicants, which is why I forgot about them. So they don't make a difference between a Swedish applicant and an international applicant. They are in the same round of applicants. So I really don't know how to, not until now, today, yes, as of yesterday, I will be able to find out if it's also popular among international applicants. But before that was not, I couldn't tell whether the applicants were Swedish or international. So next time I might say the design program, but so far it's my program.
I understand. So, okay, another question is popped up. So, the student has said, like, I have completed bachelor's degree in English literature. Which subject is suitable for master's program? Do you have anything for?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. We do not offer any programs for a bachelor's in English literature. I'm so sorry for that. It would have been great, but unfortunately, that is in Sweden, that is considered humanities, and we don't have any program in literature that we can offer you.
No worries, we can definitely, make some applications in other universities or,
Yes.
what matches the student's background. What boards mostly focus on is like textile, fashion, this kind of program, or sustainability, this kind of program, who has to pursue these programs. And they also provide like leadership programs, of the managerial programs as well.
So there are many good Swedish universities that offer programs in English that are suitable for a degree in English literature. So don't give up. And we might see you here in Sweden anyways.
Exactly. Okay, now one student, Vista Gagan, is asking, could you tell us the language requirement for bachelor's and master's program? Do you have any requirements, or should I just say for the students? Do you have any language requirements you can show in your slides?
No, I don't have any slide for it. Or do you want to show? Do you have a slide for it? Or
No, I can just say that, like for bachelor's and masters, the requirements are the same for Swedish universities. So for like Sweden, if you are applying for the bachelor's or master's, what you need is like overall 6.5 for IELTS. No band less than should be like 6. Overall 6.5 is enough to make the applications. And they also accept like PTE. For PTE, the requirement is overall 68, and the writing should be like in writing you should have like 61. And for TOEFL, if I say like the score is needed like the score of 20. Yes, this is the language requirement for the bachelor's in Sweden. And master's the same. The requirements for the language test is bachelor's and master's is the same. I just wanted to ask you something, like, is there any academics requirement? Like, do you need any bachelor's student or the 12th student to have any kind of percentage of marks that is needed? Do you have any kind of requirements on that?
Say again. Do we need? Do they need?
Academics requirements, like the bachelor's student need to have this kind of CGPA or percentage of the marks. Do you have any kind of requirement for that?
Well, when it comes to the management programs, when it comes to the design program, if we start with the design program, no, because they are looking at your portfolio, your vision statement, and then an interview. So it's the portfolio that is the first impression that they look at. Quite common in design internationally when it comes to design degrees. It is rare that they will give a graded grade. It's usually just pass and fail. And that means that for the management program, we are not able to look at grades and use that for ranking, because then it would be very unequal, an engineering student towards a design student. So what we do is that we have the purpose and the vision statement to be able to grade to grade the students, and then the interview. And then finally, when it comes to the engineering programs, at the moment they are not looking so much into the grade, and they are discussing implementing it, but they haven't yet, which means that at the moment they do not look at the grading. But it's also not a requirement. It is a ranking the applicants.
Yes, I understand. Like it's based on merit based. Like the one student has like 80% marks in their bachelor's, and another one has like 70%. So 80% marks the student will be selected. So we can definitely make the applications according to the profile and ISTs or the credits they have completed. Okay, Jenny, do you have any more slides to show to our students?
No, I don't. That was the final slide, I think. I've clicked back again. So I think that the final slide was the one we were looking at with the applications and the scholarships and the SI scholarships for those who are
Interesting. Can you just tell me some things about the SI scholarship? Many of our students are interested in scholarship in Sweden. Just, a little bit of idea, as you have already mentioned the STEM scholarship. I just wanted to have a little bit of idea about the SI scholarship.
The SI scholarship is it's part of the scholarships that are awarded by this Swedish Institute, and they are really good. They are fully funded scholarships, and we usually have 1 or 2 students with an SI scholarship, and they cover both the tuition fee and some of the living costs here in Sweden. So I would advise all of you to apply for that. I would also suggest that especially if you have an English test that is better than 6.5, for example, because this is usually considered to be really good. So do apply for this Swedish Institute scholarships. Have a look at this webpage here. You see the QR code. I don't know if it's so small. Maybe you can't click on it. But
No worries. Definitely see the link, and the student can, search in the Google. Nowadays, Google gives you every link you want. Search it, or they can ask us. No worries, no worries.
So it used to be a big deal because not only does this scholarship provide for you while you're here, it also builds up to to support you in your future career here in Sweden. So it will also foster a network so that you become part of a network of other SI scholarship students here in Sweden and get extra support for your future career.
Okay, I have another question about the SI scholarship from the student. The student has asked that I have heard that SI scholarship has been cancelled for Nepalese student. Is that correct information? And SI scholarship is only for PG students or UG as well?
I don't know what PG and UG. What does that mean?
Means the postgraduate, like masters and bachelors.
Yes, exactly. It's only for advanced studies, as far as I know. And that is the same for our scholarship. Our scholarships are also only for master students, and they are not available for our scholarships are not available for the design, and the SI scholarships are not available for the design students either, because they are in a different round of applications. So that means that it's really hard to get an SI scholarship if you're applying for a design program. So it's postgraduate, that is true. Nepalese, I haven't heard. Do you know about that, Avijit and Nishu?
Yes, actually, like for Nepal, there is no SI scholarship. I just checked the actual website even right now. Um, I just checked the website. Actually, there is nothing for the Nepalese student. I
No.
just checked it. Unfortunately, unfortunately, which is very sad, but this is the reality actually.
Yeah, I see that now as well.
Yeah, I'm just putting this one in the comments so that like students can see this one. Um, so I mean, yeah, but I mean, as Jenny said, like university has its own scholarship. So for the qualified students, I mean, those of the students you are really serious. So university has its own scholarship. So definitely you can apply for it. You're most welcome to apply for it, right?
Hmm?
So it is sad, like it has been stopped, but at the same time, actually, essay scholarship is like a very competitive one as well, right?
Yes. Yes.
We cannot really rely on it. It's like the conversion rate is actually like 1 to 2%, 1 to 2%. So this is the fact. Uh, yep. So are we end of the session now?
Yes. Yes.
That's good. I think
I
like
think
it's
we can end this session. Yes. Thank you so much for your time, Jenny. And I hope to get more queries from the students, and we will definitely forward them to you if we are
Yes.
get stuck on that. And we'll definitely make some applications for your university. Especially, I'm very much interested in your programs within the textile and the sustainability. I'm very much interested. And I think the students who are looking for careers, these kind of programs are, very helpful for the future generation. And these are the most popular nowadays. People are, looking for the sustainability programs. These kind of jobs are more popular for the students who wants to have a job or career.
Mhm. And I'm so happy, and this is one of the pleasures for being also a teacher and program manager, is that I meet so many students that are passionate about uh, taking on these challenges that we present them with, and actually wants to make a change. So if you are looking for a position where you want to make a change, you're welcome to start with us.
yes, exactly.
Definitely. And in the last, can you say some few words to our students, and then we can wrap up the session.
Yes.
Just a few words.
Okay, so thank you so much for participating here and for coming and listening to me. Um, I have you saw all my exciting stuff here that I have on the
Uh-huh.
table, and you are so welcome to come and talk to me more about that. As you can tell, we have an open day on